He is known for his contributions as a philosopher, psychologist, biologist, sociologist, and anthropologist. He is recognized for coining the expression, survival of the fittest, and expanding the concept of evolution into various realms of sociology and ethics. His name is Herbert Spencer. In the late 19th century, amidst the intellectual landscape of Victorian England, one philosopher soared to unprecedented heights of popularity. His name was Herbert Spencer, and he was a polymath who delved into the realms of philosophy, psychology, biology, sociology, and anthropology. Spencer's groundbreaking work in the field of evolution earned him a place of authority, with his concept of survival of the fittest becoming widely known after he coined it in his book Principles of Biology. Spencer's influence extended far beyond the realm of biology. He believed in the progressive development of the physical world, biological organisms, the human mind, and even human culture and societies. His ideas on evolution were not limited to natural selection alone. He also supported Lamarckism, suggesting that evolution extended into realms of sociology and ethics. This holistic perspective on evolution made Spencer a figure of immense influence, with his ideas resonating across a wide range of subjects. During his lifetime, Herbert Spencer achieved unparalleled popularity, particularly in English-speaking academia. In fact, he was considered the most famous European intellectual of his time, with his reach extending into various fields such as ethics, religion, anthropology, economics, political theory, philosophy, literature, astronomy, biology, sociology, and psychology. Such was his prominence that he was often compared to the renowned philosopher Bertrand Russell, the only other English philosopher to achieve similar widespread popularity, albeit in the 20th century. However, as the 20th century dawned, Herbert Spencer's influence began to wane. By 1900, his once illustrious authority had sharply declined. Talcott Parsons, an eminent sociologist, posed a poignant question in 1937, asking, "Who now reads Spencer?" The world had moved on, and Spencer's ideas, once celebrated and revered, were slowly fading into obscurity. Despite this decline, Spencer's legacy as a polymath and his contributions to the understanding of evolution and human society continue to be studied and recognized today. Herbert Spencer's early life was marked by a rebellious spirit and a deep skepticism towards authority. Born in Derby, England, on April 27, 1820, Spencer grew up in a household where his father, William George Spencer, was a religious dissenter who had drifted from Methodism to Quakerism. It was from his father that Herbert inherited his opposition to all forms of authority. William George Spencer not only imparted his rebellious nature to his son but also instilled in him a love for empirical science. As the secretary of the Derby Philosophical Society, a scientific society founded by Erasmus Darwin, the grandfather of Charles Darwin, Herbert's father exposed him to the progressive teachings of Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi and the pre-Darwinian concepts of biological evolution. While his father nurtured his scientific curiosity, it was Herbert's uncle, Reverend Thomas Spencer, who provided him with a more formal education. As the vicar of Hinton Charterhouse near Bath, Reverend Thomas taught Herbert mathematics, physics, and even Latin, enabling him to translate simple texts. It was during these formative years that Thomas also impressed upon his nephew his own staunch political beliefs in free trade and limited government intervention. However, Herbert Spencer was primarily an autodidact, relying on his own voracious reading and engaging in conversations with friends and acquaintances to expand his knowledge. He delved into narrow-focused readings, exploring various disciplines and developing a unique perspective on philosophy and social theory. Herbert Spencer, a renowned philosopher and writer, embarked on a journey to understand the complexities of the human mind and its connection to the natural world. Through his works, he sought to reconcile different theories and uncover the universal laws that governed our existence. One of his notable contributions was his exploration of the relationship between psychology and biology, as depicted in his book, Principles of Psychology. Published in 1855, Principles of Psychology aimed to establish a physiological basis for understanding the human mind. Spencer believed that the mind was subject to natural laws and that these laws could be discovered within the framework of general biology. He sought to bridge the gap between the associationist psychology proposed by John Stuart Mill and the phrenology theory that associated specific mental functions with different parts of the brain. Spencer argued that both of these theories were partial accounts of the truth. He believed that the repeated associations of ideas were embodied in the formation of specific brain tissue strands, which could be passed on from one generation to the next through the mechanism of use inheritance. In other words, the experiences and knowledge acquired by an individual could be inherited by future generations. This notion aligned with the Lamarckian concept of evolution, where acquired characteristics could be passed on. Spencer's ambition was to unveil the universal laws that governed not only the human mind but also the entire natural world. He envisioned his work in psychology as equivalent to what Isaac Newton had done for matter. Spencer's exploration of the connection between psychology and biology paved the way for a developmental perspective, not only on an individual level but also on a species and race level. Despite initial challenges in gaining recognition, Spencer's ideas laid the groundwork for future developments in psychology and the understanding of human behavior. His work emphasized the universality of natural law, challenging prevailing theological beliefs that certain aspects of creation were beyond scientific investigation. Spencer's philosophy, rooted in the principle of evolution, continues to offer insights into our daily lives as we navigate the complexities of human nature and the world around us. In his later years, Herbert Spencer found himself grappling with a growing sense of disillusionment and loneliness. Despite his remarkable intellect and influential ideas, Spencer never married, and his hypochondria plagued him with unexplained pains and ailments that confounded doctors of the time. This, coupled with his sensitivity to disagreement, hindered his social interactions and left him feeling isolated. As the 1890s rolled around, Spencer's readership began to dwindle, and many of his closest friends passed away. Doubts crept into his mind, shaking the foundation of his once confident belief in progress, which had been the cornerstone of his philosophical system. These were challenging times for Spencer, and his political views underwent a significant shift towards conservatism. Once a radical Democrat who championed women's suffrage and the nationalization of land to combat the power of the aristocracy, Spencer now found himself staunchly opposing female suffrage and aligning with the landowners of the Liberty and Property Defense League. Together, they fought against what they perceived as the encroachment of socialism within William Ewart Gladstone's administration, much to the dismay of Gladstone himself. Spencer's political transformation found its voice in his most famous work, The Man versus the State. However, there was one aspect of Spencer's worldview that remained steadfast: his vehement opposition to imperialism and militarism. In particular, his scathing critique of the Boer War was notable and contributed to his declining popularity in Britain. Nonetheless, his principled stance against these forms of aggression demonstrated his unwavering commitment to his beliefs. Throughout his life, Herbert Spencer's ideas and philosophies garnered recognition and respect. In 1883, he was elected as a member of the esteemed American Philosophical Society, a testament to the lasting impact of his intellectual contributions. As Spencer contemplated his later years, he found solace in the belief that his life would recur in an identical fashion. Perhaps this idea provided him with a sense of continuity and purpose, despite the challenges and uncertainties he faced. And though his views may have evolved and his popularity may have waned, his unwavering opposition to imperialism and his dedication to his principles serve as a reminder of the importance of staying true to one's convictions, even in the face of adversity.
Do you want to explore more philosophers? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.